All right, we're here
Cool.
with Cameron Posner today. So Cameron, thank you for joining us. I got to get my official interview uniform on.
Thanks for having me.
You, sir, are an owner of the OG hat,
Yes, I am.
the first year runner. So thanks a lot for being one of the first to trust us with your valuable time. It was great. And,
It was a good time.
if I remember right, you did, geez, you were looking so strong. And as I was watching near the end of the day, the trail laps were going by. And of course, the Stairway to Heaven is just really tough.
Yeah,
And
it is.
do I remember correctly? You did all the trail laps. You got through all that. So you hit that beast 12 times and then
Yeah, I did.
got to the road. And then everything for me, first year we were sorting out how to do everything. The road lap started, so I took a breath, and I was really happy that we got there, and all the runners were there, and then you were gone.
I
Several.
was kaput after. My goal was to get to that night lap and run a couple of them, and then that was the first time my body had ever gone that far, and it kind of went, hey man, I think we're done for the day.
Wow. Now I tell you, I'm sure people now have a more of a warning, an advanced warning of the course, but I don't think you would have had any way of knowing how difficult it was. I was trying to tell people that before they showed up. But when you went out and ran your first trail lap, had you previewed the course the night before or any time before that, or was that your first lap?
That was my first lap. I went into it blind, only knowing, that elevation chart map that was out there, and I was just in for whatever was going to get thrown at me.
And so as you got about halfway through that first lap, what were you thinking of me and the other folks that were putting on the race? Were you pretty happy with us, or were you starting to think that we were evil?
I didn't think you were too evil. I liked that you mixed it up a little bit. You gave us a little hope, and you had a little bit of flat spots, but then you threw in a couple of just big hills that weren't even worth running in.
Right, and you're smart to not have run them. And as I was watching it unfold, certainly I think the Ode course rewards strength. And you and I think David Dysert and a couple other runners stood out for just being massive, strong runners. I mean, I could tell you're not the miler or 800 guy that weighs 140 pounds.
Yeah,
right?
no,
You guys
that's not
bring the
me.
strength.
I love climbing hills. I could do that all day long.
Has your training changed this year now that you know what to expect from the race and you're coming back? We're thankful. First of all, we're so thankful you're coming back because you had a great performance year one and we missed you last year, but yet last year was a tough year. So has your training changed now that you know about the race?
From what I remember the first time, I realized I'd never spent that long on my feet moving around all day long. So my training, I've still been running a lot, but I've just been spending more of my days on my feet, whether it's walking, doing stuff around the house, or like walking 18 holes and playing golf. Like I feel like that all counts. That all helps you get into that space where you're getting used to being tired and still moving.
That's a great point. For all we've all talked about this, and I only do one lap at a time, so it's all bench racing for me. I just enjoy watching you real runners go do this. We've never come up with that thought, and that's, I think, a great, and it's not too late now for people to hear that, so I hope they watch. But yeah, time on the feet's important. You do, when you come in, do you sit down in the chair in between laps, or?
Oh yeah, I sit down for a second, but like rolling out, I think was the big thing that helped the legs kind of feel fresh between each lap. Get a foam roller, just do a little bit on the calves, a little on the quads. They feel a little bit fresher each time.
Awesome. That's a great tip. Great tip. Well, I can't wait to see what you do this year. And are you going to run, or will any of your crew run Vanstone Mile. Now you're probably 4 or 5 hours away. I don't know if you're coming up the night before, but the Vanstone Mile is our fizzy beverage mile, 8:20 p.m. the night before the race. Any plans to do that? Do you think that's a good way for you to get ready for the race?
I think that would be a great way to get ready for the race. We're definitely coming up the day before. What's one more fun event before?
All right. Well, let's say at least maybe you treat your crew that, and remember we have the triple play Friday night where your crew, if they feel like entering, they can run anywhere between 1 and 3 laps. That way you can, when they mouth off at you that you should be running another lap, at least they've got a little bit of experience in their legs. What do you fear most this year about running the race?
About running or the race?
The race at the Ode. What do you fear? What may happen
if it
to
gets
you?
really hot? I guess that's the biggest thing, because past few days it's been really hot, and that just drains the life out of you. And so, if you can make it through that midday sun and that midday heat, I think it's going to be okay.
That's a great thing you bring up, because we all, and you could see it on the old history trace on Weather Underground, it was a pretty good day for year one. The sun was out, and then the temperature spiked like 10 degrees in less than a half hour and stood there for 2 hours and then went right back down. But everyone felt it. It was like somebody turned on a French frying lamp. And
yeah,
it was really rough for y'all. That knocked a lot of people out. You survived it, but it knocked a ton of people out all at once. And that was very dramatic. It didn't happen like that last year. We'll see what it is this year. So what's your greatest strength that you think you'll bring to the race this year that will help get you through, besides being strong, that I keep telling everybody?
Well, I love climbing hills, so that's my forte when it comes to running in the woods. So I think I can make life easier on myself if I can run the hills and take a little break so when it's flat and shaded throughout the course.
Yeah, because after you get through Stairway to Heaven, you got the out and back that's got a lot of tree cover. And then were you probably smart enough to walk the big hill on the backside of the lake there, even on lap one? That one's tricky because it's disguised.
Yep, every time we'd walk that one, and that was always a good plan.
Yeah, it's tough. If you make the mistake even one time, you can never grab that back the rest of the day. It's gone, and you'll regret it. But so, do you have here's a question that I think someone put online that we like. Do you have a guilty snack that you only eat on race day?
Pop-Tarts. I love Pop-Tarts on race day. I never eat them except on race days.
Now, is that morning, or you're going to use that as your fueling strategy between laps?
I maybe eat like a half a Pop-Tart along with other stuff every lap.
Every lap. Sweet.
Yeah, I just like
the
sweet.
Posner.
I'm a sweet tooth, so I could eat sugar all day.
Coming by. What flavor Pop-Tarts?
I'm really boring, and I love brown sugar, but I also really like the strawberry ones. I think those are my go-tos. But you can also buy those in like big packs like Costco, so that might be why.
Right.
I love them.
Excellent. This is good. I can't wait to see that. Andrew Moore and I, we kind of have an argument over whether we should be eating Little Debbie snack cakes or Mr. Kipling snack cakes. Kipling, that's the equivalent from across the pond. So we have significant arguments over that. But Pop-Tarts may change everything. So first year, I didn't ask everyone how far they thought they would run. But this second year and third year, I asked everybody. I wanted to get an understanding, and I asked, what's your stretch goal? But I also said, what's your realistic minimum goal? So try to guess for me, for the people, unless you know this answer already, for the people that had never run the Ode before, how much did they consistently overestimate their minimum goal that they were going to achieve? Forget about the stretch goal. That wasn't even.
Yeah. I don't know, but the minimum. I don't know. That's tough. I feel like people actually had a pretty good understanding of what their minimum was.
You think so?
I think so, because my minimum was just to get to 10, 12 hours. I think that was where I was like, all right, this is the least amount that I want to do. But the stretch goals, I don't know. I just feel like stretch goals can sometimes be a little lofty.
The stretch goals were very lofty, so I threw all those in the trash can. And then I took all of the minimum that everyone said they would achieve. And that, when you compare it to the race results, is about 40% too high.
Oh.
People actually achieve. So it's just a little bit of a lesson on how hard it might be. And if people hear that, maybe they'll change their training a bit for the past 5 or 6 weeks, the next 5 or 6 weeks, and work on
it. They'll just run harder.
You think? I'm not sure running harder is the answer, right? Got to be strong. All right. So I'm going to ask you some quick questions here. We're going to have some fun. What's your favorite band?
Green Day.
Excellent. What's your favorite ice cream?
Vanilla.
Vanilla. Okay. We're going to check your age here. Cousin Eddie or Clark Griswold?
Clark Griswold.
Chatty or not chatty during the race?
Not chatty.
Not chatty. Opposite of Sarah Moore, right? Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids?
Swedish Fish.
Well done, medium or rare?
Medium.
Porta-John or Bush's?
Bushes.
Favorite donut?
Maple glazed.
Little Debbie or Mr. Kipling's?
Little Debbie Swiss rolls.
Ha ha! Very specific. Oh, that's going to hurt Andrew a lot. That's going to make Sarah very happy. So let me tell you that you get to now ask me a question. I hope I can answer. It can't be about who I think is going to win, but any other question is probably on the table until I tell you got to pick a different one.
Oh, I guess, what's your best advice for spectators or for your crew?
That's a great one. Let's split it up. For crew, I would say crew, you have to, even though it's such a great vibe out there, you have to actually act like you are a runner yourself, and you have to stay in the shade. You have to take care of yourself. You have to hydrate. You have to eat. You have to conserve your own energy while you're thinking about the things you need to do for your runner, because the runner can take care of himself, maybe herself for the first few hours very well. But once the runner gets ding batty at hour 8 through 12, you got to be on your top game. So your task really doesn't start till then, and it's a long day. And it's for me. I mean, after the night laps get going, I mean, I barely remember any of them. Laz can stay up all night long. A lot of other race directors can't. But I can't. So the crew, I feel terrible for them, because once the night's going and that runner's going and they have to keep the runner motivated, I don't know how they stay awake. So that's really important. Treat yourself well during the day as a crew. Spectators, same thing. If it's hot, take care of yourself, drink, all that, but make sure you stay on your feet, or stay off your feet as much as you can, stay in the shade, and have a great time. Because, I mean, that's what this is all about. Watching incredible athletes like you do what you do is so spectacular. I get wrapped up in being a spectator more than I want to be the race director.
Yeah.
So that's why we're all out there, is to watch you. So enjoy it. That's my advice. So I guess, I don't know if that answers your question, but.
No, that answers my question, because I got crew and my buddies coming up, and they're, our girlfriends and wives are coming, and they're excited, but they're like, what are we going to do all day? I go, I don't know. You kind of just get to watch and hang out until it gets hard for us. Then you got to be there.
Walk around the park, take a dip in the water. I mean, we got the lake there, bring their swimsuits, and we have free beer. We have water. I mean, hamburgers, hot dogs. What more could you need? Right.
Yeah, that's all.
And coffee. So
and a little bit of coffee.
there you go. Well, Cameron, thank you so much. First of all, thanks for coming back and returning. It's great to have folks from year one back. So you're a member of the Ode family forever, and you get to proudly wear the OG hat.
Yeah.
I hope you'll take a lap in that, but if it's not too hot. But anyway, I look forward to seeing you in July, and thanks for spending your time with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. I'm dragging some friends along so they can experience it too. So
Great.
I'm
Thank
thrilled.
you. All right. I'll see you then, man.
All right, see you then. Thanks, Dad.